Yes, sir. We are back. It is the MMA After Hour on this Monday, November 27th, 2017. If you must know, my buttocks very sore right now, so I'm just going to stand up and stretch a little bit as we welcome in the one and only new daddy, the proud papa, everyone's favorite. Whoa, this is an early reveal. We weren't ready for that reveal. Are you kidding me? What's going on? Everyone's favorite segment. What you've been waiting for. There it is. A little slow out of the gate, but there it is. Oh, just have to stand up and stretch a little bit. Ooh. I mean, I've been sitting on my buttocks for like 5 hours. 4 hours to be exact. Got a lot to talk about here. Can't wait to talk more. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oh, just got to stretch it out sometimes. Still getting over it. Yes, there he is, Mr. New York Rick himself, repping the Unbox Therapy. And by the way, I was repping the Unbox Therapy yesterday.
Shout out to Lou and everybody over there.
Yeah.
Love the Unbox Therapy.
I was thinking about you yesterday, by the way. We were debating whether or not to go to Dave & Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese. My son...
Did you make the right call?
My oldest brother, Mark, has donated an old Wii U. From back in 2013, and it's like some of the games work, some of they don't work, and I don't really understand how to play the whole thing. But a couple of games I've figured out, like Mario Kart. There's an Olympic one, and so my son, my oldest son, has really gotten into video games, which I've kind of tried to delay as much as possible.
Yeah,
and so
that's an expensive route.
I just don't want him sitting there, playing all these crazy games.
That as well, but like this is the beginning of the end.
Yeah, he loves it. He can't get enough. Mm-hmm. And so he really wanted to go to Dave & Buster's. It was a little far. We settled on Chuck E. Cheese's. My wife's first time going, my second, she hated it. She was miserable.
It's a germ pit.
You can imagine how I felt.
Yeah, and knowing you,
yeah.
I mean, that had to be a nightmare. Listen, Dave & Buster's, you go get yourself some food. You play the game.
Yeah, but see, actually, I use you as a reason not to go. You told me you don't eat the food there.
I don't.
Yeah.
Don't. You know what? I'm not gonna say don't eat the food. I'm gonna say
no. That's what you said.
For me, that's a pass. That's a hard pass.
You told me you don't eat the food.
It's a hard pass. But grab yourself a little drinky drink at the bar. Go over.
Drink.
Play some.
Can't do that with kids. Have you ever had the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese? It looked pretty good.
I have, but you're talking. This is 20 years ago now.
Oh, okay.
I had it as a youngster. But yeah, Chuck E. Cheese doesn't give me the right vibe. I'm sorry. You got to make the Dave & Buster's trek.
I'll say this: I feel like the games were a little bit geared more towards the younger kids at Chuck E. Cheese, right? It's a little intense at Dave & Buster's.
Well, Dave & Buster's. Look, you're gonna eat, play, whatever it is. What is it? Eat, play, drink. I don't know. Fun. But I'm sorry for you having to go to suffer that and go to Chuck E. Cheese.
They didn't know any better.
As long as they had fun, who the hell cares? That's the reality.
They were playing with the stuff this morning, the cards.
What cards?
You get those cards for the tokens.
This is like redeeming prizes. Like you get tickets and then you
put like $16 on it and then you go up to the machine and you just press it and that's how you play. You don't got that?
What they were playing with the cards.
So this morning they were like all excited that the cards were still at home and they're like, oh, we're going to go back and now we have the cards. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what about the prizes? Did they get like
we got crap prizes.
Tchotchkes?
We got 102 tickets and we got the crappiest prizes. We got 2 Airheads, one Star Wars sticker, and 1 plastic ant. It was crap.
So of the 4 things, only one thing that even lasts. The sticker goes on and then it's done. Yeah. The 2 warheads are in their bellies already.
Airhead.
Airhead in their belly. Warhead. So you got a plastic ant out of the whole thing.
Yeah, my son was very excited about it.
We'll look. I'll go with you next time.
Yeah.
We'll hit the Papa Shot. We'll get them a lot of tickets. We'll make it happen.
I killed it on the Papa Shot.
Yeah, we'll
killed it.
Anytime you wanna come for the throne, I'm here.
All right.
World's number 1.
Well, we thought of you. Yes.
You ever seen the video of the Japanese guy playing with 2 hands on the Papa Shot?
Wow.
Underhanded like this? Oh,
ambidextrous.
That's something to see.
Wow. At Dave & Buster's?
I think it was somewhere in. Well, let me not do that. It was a China or Japan. I'm pretty sure it was Japan. But
can't make that mistake.
Yeah, let me not do that. But I believe
it was somewhere
Japan.
in Asia,
somewhere in the Far East.
Yeah,
and he lit the thing on fire. Anyway, that is not one of Rick's picks this week.
Okay,
because it's an old video.
What do we got?
But we do have some Rick's picks.
The first ever Rick's picks as a father. Wow, what a moment!
And we started with mind-numbing head kicks. This one from Golden Ticket Fight Promotions, Fight Night 7 in England. Now, it's actually a little older than a week. It happened on November 18th. But watch this. Oh, shut down. Faceplant, just wrecked.
I feel like you love the faceplants.
That is a key to the proper knockout. This, when the body is just shut down like that. This is amateur welterweight making his debut, Samuel, Ilnicki, with the head kick over Solomon Rogers from Golden Ticket Fight Promotions, Fight Night 7 in England on the 18th.
I didn't know Fight Night 7 was this weekend. I love Fight Night 6. I didn't know they had Fight Night 7.
How dare you, sir? I do believe that this Golden Ticket Promotions does put on some events with some names we recognize. I think there was like a Norman Park card that I saw when I was doing a little bit of research. So this one from roughly 9 days ago to be exact, incredible knockout, especially for a debuting fighter. And you know what? A lot of these kind of out of nowhere knockouts are from amateurs or from debutantes. I think there's the less nerves and also the lower caliber of opponent. These things are easier to execute, but incredible one here by Samuel. Okay, our next video. This is from Bleacher Report. They had Marshawn Lynch watch some knockouts.
Oh, and then he did it again. See, look at the difference. Oh, he knew he was getting his.
They originally tweeted this out, and it said we could watch Marshawn react to UFC knockouts forever, and then they deleted it. Yeah, this was probably like an ad thing, and then they screwed it up, right? Because Bellator retweeted it. I mean, why would they just specifically choose Bellator knockouts and not MMA knockouts?
Of course, I'm sure there's some kind of promotion here, but the end result is we get Marshawn Lynch reacting to
Was it good?
knockouts,
Was it funny? I didn't really watch.
Oh, come on.
Ever since he left the Bills, I've been a little bit weird about Marshawn Lynch.
Listen.
Well, yeah.
And also, it's another excuse to get some of these knockouts, which are really, really
What's No Script?
nice ones.
The show that they're on.
I think this is Marshawn Lynch. He does.
He's the host?
I'm pretty sure it's his show. Yeah, there's other ones where he's reacting to like people. I saw one where he was reacting to people breaking cinder blocks, like the old school karate stuff.
Who are those two guys?
That I don't know.
It'd be great if it was like Scott Coker and.
All right, stop.
This kind of reminds me of that show on Vice with those two guys. I love those guys.
Jesus and Mero?
Oh yeah, they're great.
Oh my God! Don't get me started.
No good?
No, the best.
Oh, I love them.
I'm part of the Bodega Hive. I love those guys.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but
yeah. See, look, there's levels to this fandom.
I just see them talking about the Knicks, and I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, they have some hot takes for sure.
Yeah,
Jesus and Mero, love those guys. Marshawn Lynch reacting to knockouts. Go watch the whole video. Bleacher Report has it. Okay, the UFC tweeted this. Chopstick Challenge. Here we see Faber, Jiangliang, Joanna, and Minotauro Nogueira.
Oh, wow. What are they picking up?
Those look like nuts.
Oh.
Or maybe chickpeas?
Yeah.
Nuts or chickpeas?
Man, nuts are tough because they're so hard.
If you don't have the game, yeah. If you don't got the skills.
Didn't you think it was interesting that they brought Joanna over there? I mean, clearly they had to have booked that beforehand, right? Credit to her. How cool is Joanna, right?
I mean, she's playing this right.
Unbelievable.
She's
not
just
hiding.
out there. Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
She wants people to know that she's coming back.
Big Nug 14.
I have to tell you, these numbers are
18. How long?
Pathetic.
How long?
I don't know what it was, a minute maybe.
And don't compare me to his favor. I'm bigger than him.
So who won?
I think it was Faber.
Oh, okay.
Here's a quick video from Francis Ngannou's Instagram, stating that he has the world record of punching power. And I'm not one to argue with him.
Wait, but a couple weeks ago you told me Casey has more power than him.
Listen,
Who's lying now?
this is why I brought this up. I'm not one to argue with him, but maybe our own Casey.
Oh yeah, we'll see about
is
that.
one to contest this.
If only
Casey,
they were in the same city later this week.
Casey, if you see this Instagram, if you watch this Rick's Picks, maybe you got something to talk to Francis about. I know it's true. Maybe I'll send it to him.
You know what I love? I love the fact that Francis Ngannou, like his fight team.
Look, previous record, Tyrone Spong.
Wow, nice shout out. Whatever happened to Tyrone Spong?
I think he's boxing professionally now.
Okay,
I think that's where he's at. No MMA, no kickboxing. I think he's boxing the whole time.
I feel like Francis Ngannou is fighting out of the UFC PI. Like that's his gym.
Oh, for sure. That's
He's
his
like
home
the
gym.
first fighter. He just like shows up there. Okay, what are we doing today? I feel like his coaches are going to be UFC PI like trainers.
I mean, how far are we from Kevin Lee kind of being in that same realm? Like, he does a lot of his
Good
work
for him, man.
So it's smart. They're giving you a facility. Like all these other guys have to now. I imagine not pay membership, guys and girls, but I think it's just a convenience thing, and good for him for taking advantage of it. What's interesting about him, though, is he moved to Las Vegas and didn't have like a home gym, and this became his home gym. It wasn't like he was a Vegas guy, and then the PI opened and he started going there. He moved to Vegas specifically because he wanted to be in the U.S., and now he's training out there.
Whoa, how about Dave Doyle, our own Dave Doyle, getting a quote from Joe Silva about Matt Mitrione's claim that he lied about him. Anyway, we can talk about that later, but I just saw that come through the wire. Great job there.
That's a great tease because you got me interested.
Doesn't speak.
Okay. Another Rick's pick. Rob Whittaker, or Robert Whittaker. I don't know why I said Rob Whittaker. Oh, because it says in here, Rob. Robert Whittaker qualifying for the Gold Coast 2018 Commonwealth Games in wrestling. And that's the same way Francis's power is scary. Robert Whittaker with an ever-improving grappling game is also a scary prospect if you're the rest of the middleweight division. Congrats to him for qualifying and good luck in the rest.
Yes. How about that? He got some media attention for that.
You mentioned this, and now we're going to talk about it.
Oh.
A tweet here from friend of the show, Daniel Cormier.
I'll
read it.
Pal Daniel.
So I walk into the gym today, and Habib Nurmagomedov walks up to me and says the UFC is wanting to make me, and this was a little bit confusing for me at first, but he meant Habib, not Daniel, versus Tony Ferguson for December 30th. Then he tells me that Tony is saying no to the fight. Come on, Tony. That ain't gangsta. Oh, sorry. That ain't gangsta, bruh. Take the fight, man. To which our own Ariel Helwani responded,
Oh no!
I expect DC to campaign for his guy, but also expect more from him.
That was me. I was hacked.
Ferguson fought 6 weeks ago. Barboza signed to fight Habib at 219. UFC still wants to beef up 219, and now Ferguson is being pressured because McGregor isn't available for 219. No need for public pressure. Unbecoming DC.
Yes.
Explain yourself, or rather, is there a rift between you and Daniel? Are we on the outs, or where are we?
Listen, perhaps our cozy, our buddy relationship was a little bit overblown. That's all I'll say about that. But this is what I'll really say about the matter at hand. I get on Twitter Wednesday night and I see all these guys from AKA trying to pressure Tony Ferguson to take this fight. I see Habib Nurmagomedov trying to bait Tony Ferguson into taking a fight. Last I checked, Habib Nurmagomedov was scheduled and signed to fight Edson Barboza at UFC 219. And based on my discussions, the UFC wanted Tony Ferguson to fight at 219 because Conor McGregor isn't fighting at 219. And they want to try to beef up that card as much as possible. So what's the fight to make if Ferguson can't fight Conor McGregor? It's obviously Habib Nurmagomedov. But Tony Ferguson just fought. Tony Ferguson is a little bit banged up. Tony Ferguson was told that his next fight was going to be against Conor McGregor. Why on essentially 5 weeks notice should he fight Habib Nurmagomedov? Why should he be told that he's ducking or that he's afraid when he was scheduled to fight? I love Habib, but they were scheduled to fight on March 3rd. Get the Barboza fight out of the way, win that fight, and then let's talk about the Ferguson fight. And oh, by the way, Barboza deserves a chance to fight Habib. He signed up to take that fight, and that's a big opportunity for him. So I get what DC was doing. I get what Mike Swick was doing. I get why these guys, these AKA guys, were trying to, drum up some interest. I just didn't like the fact that they were going about it that way, saying like, come on, Ferguson, are you really going to do that? And let's be honest, Cormier needs to walk in, he's got to walk a different kind of line. At the end of the day, above all, I believe he's the AKA captain. More so than the UFC Tonight guy, the Fox guy, the color guy on the broadcast. He loves that team. He loves competition. He's still an active fighter. He is the most loyal guy out there. And I get it. He's trying to stick up for his guy and he wants to see his guy fight for the belt. I get it. But also, let's not forget the fact that he does have these other jobs. And I just don't think it is becoming, dare I say, it's unbecoming to then, go out publicly and try to almost, publicly pressure a guy to take a fight when, the guy, he was already told that he's fighting Conor. At least that's the fight that they want to make. And those two other guys were already booked to fight each other. It's not Tony Ferguson's fault that the UFC couldn't get Conor to fight at 219. It's not Tony Ferguson's fault that the UFC couldn't beef up 219 like they originally wanted to. So leave the guy alone. I wouldn't want, and this is just another example why a union would never work in this sport. It's like, that's not you would never see NBA players talk to each other like that publicly. You would never see it. You just wouldn't. And I kept seeing this. I saw a bunch of tweets about like, Ferguson should take this fight. And of course, the fans are going to pile on. And the fans piled on me for saying that Ferguson should take this fight. What are you talking about? He just fought 6 weeks ago. No big deal. Come on. These are professional athletes. He is on the cusp of the biggest payday of his life, a fight that would change his life. And you're trying to now pressure him just for your own, $49.95. No, it doesn't work like that. And you shouldn't want that. And you shouldn't want to be a part of that. And so, yeah, I get it. I understand what DC was doing. He's the captain. I get it. But I couldn't stand by and just let him, do that to Tony Ferguson, who, by the way, isn't the biggest fan of mine. Let's not forget, not that long ago, he blocked me. And this isn't me trying to create a rift with Khabib. I have the utmost respect for Khabib. I love the guy. He's tremendous. I can't wait to see him back. I've missed him, genuinely, sincerely. But let's just fight the fight that you agreed to fight. And let's not play this game where we're going to all publicly pressure a guy and pile on him just because the UFC couldn't beef up the card like they wanted to, or just because Conor isn't available. It's not right. So I had to say something about it.
At the end of it all, I think we got Daniel Cormier with the perfect capper for this. He said, "Fighting with you, Ariel, is making him sad. This one is one where we will have to just disagree." And he posted himself crying. But
listen, it made me uncomfortable too. I was like, this is spiraling out of control, but I'm not going to back down. Like the great Tom Petty once said, I won't back down. And I wasn't going to back down to him.
Rest in peace, Tom Petty.
Listen, I shoot it straight. I call it like I see it. And we cannot stand for bullying in this sport. Not in this sport. You know what we also can't stand for? Theft. And I'd like my bobblehead back. It's the last time I'm inviting anyone from Glory onto this program. Last time.
DC ending it with levity. Funny. Okay.
He's the man.
Also humorous. Also with levity. Felice Herrig posting some photos of herself with the Fruit Loops.
I don't get it.
Yeah, she was just talking about what she's kind of dreaming about, what she's after while she's
because she's fighting this weekend
because she's not able to.
Yeah.
There are a few others, but
that's a great fight as well on the card.
Top to bottom, super solid card.
Courtney Casey against Felice Herrig. That's an important fight.
I don't get this one either.
Okay, glad you
from Conor McGregor, the lion mask, saying he's the king of the jungle. I get it from why he would consider himself the king of the jungle. Why now? Why?
He's been wearing masks for a while now.
Yeah, this is just...
maybe it's a shot at Amanda Nunes.
He's setting up his next super fight.
I don't get it either, but it's a great
They should do a Who Wore It Better with Amanda and Conor. But the King of the Jungle rides in luxury, that's for sure.
Good for him.
Okay, this one made the rounds. I thought it was well done and hilarious by Touchy Feely. Having some kind of conflict with a sponsor.
Sweet stash.
And then after I did that, they tried to renegotiate and say they wouldn't pay me at all.
Oh.
Negotiated 4 posts.
I didn't show my face, but they waited until after my 3rd post to tell me that.
Whack.
So.
Oh. Wow. This is like that movie Office Space.
It's exactly like that.
Oh,
so he does his 4th post by destroying.
Video. Here's my face.
Wow.
Smiling with the tongue in the gap between his teeth. I mean, just
incredible.
Start to finish, flawless social media post. Shout out to Touchy Feely. That was absolutely bonkers.
By the way, I should have done that with those guys who didn't pay me for the Connor thing. I don't know what I could actually.
Yeah, I don't know. How, like, what do you? You watch you break your computer with the pay-per-view on it?
Right. I don't know.
This one near and dear to my heart. The karate hottie Michelle Waterson on this season of MTV's The Challenge, my favorite show on television and probably the best show that's ever been created. And did the Stars win? No, unfortunately, her team lost this week.
Oh, I just got a press release about this. It started?
Just started last Tuesday.
Okay.
I want to say, yeah, it started last Tuesday.
I just got a press release. Oh wait, okay. This is about that. It's weird that I got a press release about the second episode. The Miz is on this?
The Miz is the host.
Oh.
Miz is the host. T.O.'s on it.
Terrell Owens.
Big deal. It's a big deal.
How is it?
I mean,
how's Waterson?
This is the best thing. Well, here's her quote. She wasn't featured much. I mean, I feel like there's some more like boisterous, more characters that are going to try and hog the spotlight a little bit, like a Terrell Owens or somebody like that. But when she did get screen time, she made a count. She said, "When push comes to shove, I'm shoving." Good for Michelle.
Yeah.
Represented for MMA.
If I speak to her at the media day, what's one question I should ask about this show?
Spoilers, because these are already taped. We need to know.
She's not gonna give us spoilers. What's wrong with you?
Get the spoilers. Get the spoilers off the record. Write them down.
Oh,
give them to me.
That doesn't really help me.
You don't need to help you. You're helping me. Help me.
All right.
Help me. Get the spoilers.
Care that much?
I love this show.
Wow.
I love.
This is your number one show.
This is the only show. There is no number one. This is one,
only
2, 3,
show.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
How does your poor wife think about this? How does she feel about
suffers
this?
it. She suffers it. She'll let me.
She gets into it?
No. But she'll let me be on my challenge, you know.
Who's the greatest performer in the history of the challenge?
The Miz. The Miz? See, he was one of the OGs, and there was one challenge where everybody is on this wire net. It was hanging above, and you're supposed to hold on with two hands, but if you let go, it was like a pulley kind of system. Mm-hmm. If you let go with one hand, then you're hanging on by only one hand, and the balance is off a little bit. You needed both hands on it to balance. He fell off, but had his one hand on, and he hung there and stayed on it and beat everybody else who was hanging with two hands at the moment, and they all fell off. It was the greatest performance in history. He's the man. And then CT from Boston.
Of course.
But of course. I love the challenge. And shout out to Michelle Waterson for doing it this week.
Yeah.
Lastly, Rick's pick.
Okay.
From me.
Oh, there it is. Rick. There it is. Where was this at the top of the show?
No, you got to save it for Rick's pick.
Fair enough.
Caption, my wife cooked this bird to perfection. Feeling pretty thankful today. Thanksgiving baby, Avery Emma Jackman, my daughter, cutest baby in the world.
Can I nitpick for a second?
Sure, talk to me.
I'm not a big fan of people tweeting out Instagram links because it just shows up as a link, an Instagram link on your Twitter. So what I'm a big fan of these days is the double post. Basically, do your Instagram thing, then do a separate Twitter post. It gets way more traction. You just have the photo embedded in there because no one wants to click on the link and then go to another app.
Yes, but
should have done a double post.
You're splitting your audience, right? If you drive the people to the Instagram who may not follow you on Instagram.
Yeah, I've stopped doing that.
Now you may get those followers and get those likes on the Instagram. I'm a one platform poster. I don't like to post the same thing on Twitter that I post on Instagram. So I share those links.
I've long believed that Twitter was the dominant social media platform, and so I'm okay with not bringing over my audience. I feel like that.
We're live on Twitter right now, the dominant social media platform.
So you tweeted that link, and if I don't know anything going on in your life, I'm like, oh, here's Eric's Thanksgiving post.
Exactly.
I don't want to click on this.
And that helped me. A lot of people thought,
yeah, but
they thought they were getting.
Quite frankly, if I just follow this show sort of willy nilly, I don't care about what your turkey looks like. I see enough of that. So
you should care about what my turkey looks like.
It was very ambiguous. How about I'm a proud dad? Unbelievable.
No, where's the intrigue there? There's the, you know what? This is for hardcores only. Right. That's what I'll say to that. This is for the hardcores only.
How many likes you get on that pic?
More than anything by like a country mile. People are not interested in me and more interested in babies.
Yeah.
Which is okay. Because now I have one. So I'll be maximizing my baby Instagram time.
Are you? So are
I
you?
see you've been very productive over there in the last.
Oh, this
couple of
is my
minutes.
glory fight information that I've turned into a paper airplane because of what she did to me.
This is my favorite storyline.
Have you decided if you're going to be that quasi public person dad who is going to share a lot about their kids, or are you going to make it?
It's not really my style to do a lot of the family stuff. My wife, I don't really highlight there because it's not for anybody else to kind of get into. But I feel like with a baby, it's a little bit different. I'm happy and proud of her, and I'm gonna post a little bit. But the answer is probably leaning toward no. Or I think you've given a pretty good example of that. You use it sparingly. You don't use it like exclusively for family stuff, but you integrate it into the other stuff nicely. I think it'll probably be somewhere around there.
All right.
It's not going to be an account solely dedicated to her. So
are you going to make
share a little bit?
her own account? Some people like to do that.
No, I'm not. I'm not making the Connor Jr.
Oh, they did that?
account. Yeah.
Have they updated it?
Remember, it got like
Yeah.
500,000 followers before anything even posted.
Right.
Let's actually check in on that.
By the way, I was talking earlier about like unity and fighters, wanting different things but still sticking together. A perfect example of how our sport is so much different than other sports. David Fizdale, the now former head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies, was just fired, right? And here you have Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, who of course played for him with the Heat, but you have other guys like, well, Vince Carter also played for him, but Damian Lillard, I see, has tweeted, and they've all tweeted how upset they are that he got fired. You never see this in MMA. You never see like fighters when they're upset about something come together and, oh, by the way, this is a coach. This isn't a fellow player from the Players Association. This is a coach. What do you see? You see fighters piling it on. You see fighters kicking them when they're down. You see fighters calling each other liars. You see fighters, saying that, oh, you're scared to fight. Like, I wish we saw more of that.
Now, remember though, it is an individual sport. There is a big difference there. Whereas these guys came together as a team, achieved success. These other fighters are not necessarily coming from that same perspective. They were their opponents. They were the people that were potentially coming to take money out of their pocket. Whereas LeBron, Wade, all these guys, they played with
Yeah, but other people haven't.
This is a community.
Damian Lillard. I mean,
Fair enough.
I've seen many other cases where they say like, oh man, great job getting that money. And of course they're all happy. They're all content. They're all billionaires. But
there's no doubt about it that there's much more camaraderie between the sports there. Yeah, and we'll see where that one goes.
Jessica I just tweeted me, by the way.
What'd she say?
She wrote, hey, Ariel Helwani, since you only have PVZ, can I come on to tell what really happened? That's contract number 2 because UFC just sends us random fight contracts. GTFO SMH. So she is sending a contract for a January 14th fight with Paige Van Zandt.
Here we go.
Also, for whatever it's worth, I did hear from someone affiliated with Valentina Shevchenko who also said that they were in talks. So 2 people.
Lots of contracts out there.
Yeah. What do we make of this?
We'll see. Conor McGregor Jr. update.
Yes, please.
112,000 followers, 0 posts.
Wow.
Not yet. One day.
0 posts.
You know what? Maybe Fogarty.
Yeah.
Look, you got a job here. Let's do it.
Yep.
Get that Instagram up and popping.
Yeah. Stop whining about not getting credit.
All right. Don't pile on. But he's taking some great pictures. Put them on there. All right. That's it for Rick's picks this week.
I think we need to do it.
What?
I just sent you something.
Oh, I didn't see.
Just a quickie.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get it? Oh, darn it. I sent it to someone else. Here it is. Coming at you.
Okay. Got it.
I feel like we need to do it.
Yeah. Talk about something.
Talk about life.
Minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to call. No, I'll tell the people. Jessica I has said, since you only have PVZ, can I come on to tell what really happened? So I am going to call Jessica I right now and ask her what really happened. I think it's only fair if you're going to come on and say that I'm only having one side of the story. I'd like to get both sides of the story. And so we shall be calling Jessica I right now. Hopefully she's available. I don't back down from a challenge. I like getting both sides of the story. By the way, this is my glory information. Look at that. One of the finest paper airplanes I have ever created. So, if you missed it, earlier today we had Paige Van Zandt on the program. Talked to her about all kinds of stuff going on. And talked to her about Jessica I not being happy that she was not fighting her next. She said she didn't know what was going on. They kind of moved on. It wasn't brought back after she had to pull out. Talked about Valentina Shevchenko. So much going on. There's always all kinds of drama. Is she fighting for the belt? Is she not fighting for the belt? And since then, I've heard from Valentina's team who said that they were in talks to fight her. And we just got a tweet from Jessica I. And I like to get both sides of the story. And so I asked New York Rick to call Jessica I. And wouldn't you know it, we've got Jessica I on the phone. Jessica, are you there?
I am. Hi, Ariel.
You didn't think I was going to call you, right?
No, you know what I'm glad. I feel like I feel very good from that. So thank you for calling me.
You doubted me. I see. I like getting both sides of the story. I like getting the truth. We had Paige on. Nothing against you, but there was a lot going on in her life, so we had her on. She talked about your situation. I don't know if you heard it or got some tweets. Tell me what do you know based on the interview, and then we could kind of go from there. Did you hear it, or did you get some like piecemeal information?
No, I had a friend that actually listened to it. I was doing some stuff before I go back in the training, so no, I did not hear it. But my wonderful little birdies that keep an eye out for me, let me know what I needed to know, and basically, which encouraged me to tweet one of the two contracts that the UFC sent me that Paige had agreed to. I guess I really should have sent you the screenshots of the text message Paige sent to me about originally asking to fight me and agreeing to fight me way back in July. So, there's so many things that are going on. And I think that sometimes, with the media, you guys pick up on the things Paige says, because you're right. She's got other things to talk about. She's doing some outside of the cage stuff. So everybody always seems to believe that person and not the other side. And I feel like me and, Valentino, who are the best 125ers in the world. And that was before we even came to the UFC. So, I feel like we're both kind of getting shunned to the side, not getting a chance, and Paige is just getting all this time to talk.
Okay, so then let me ask you, she said that, she was willing to fight you. She is willing to fight you in the future, but for this particular, after she had to pull out of your fight at 216, they never went back to the well, and she's now fighting someone else on January 14th. And you're saying, look, I have a contract here for January 14th. So what's the story that you were told? Why aren't you fighting Paige Van Zandt next?
Because Paige called Dana and asked to get out of the fight. They were not going to let her out of this fight. And whatever bitch fit she threw. I signed that contract. I signed that one October 18th. I think that was the one that 10/18, I think I got the contract, signed it, returned it that day for that one. I have the other signed contract that we sent back for the other fight and for the other time. So listen, I'm not here saying that maybe two other things weren't being said, but we all know that the UFC does not send contracts to people unless both parties agreed upon wanting the fight and said yes to everything. That went out, and then it was like New York weekend happened, and all of a sudden she came home and realized, like, oh, wait a minute, Jessica is one of the best 125ers, and she can kick my ass. So now I don't want this fight. I would much rather go fight a girl that Beck lost to because she thinks that she beat Beck, which is fine. It's totally fine, but we've been trying to get myself a fight. I haven't been in the cage. I've been begging for 125, and we revolved all of our decision-making because Paige was being cooperative. And then one day I think I have a fight coming up, and the next day I don't. It's not fair for her to do that. And not even to mention I get offered a short notice fight that even if I would have taken it against KGB, that if the fight would have got pulled on me again. And that's not fair. I've had multiple fights pulled from me, and it's not fair for me to have to deal with it. And it sucks. It's hard.
So you're saying that she called Dana White and said, I don't want this fight. So then what was the reason told to you? They called you and just said, hey, she doesn't want this fight. We have to move on?
She was refusing to fight me. She was going to refuse the fight. I'm sure she would have faked an injury or did whatever she wanted. She would have faked some kind of injury or in some another way to get out of that fight or whatever. I mean, who knows what would have happened. It's not the UFC's fault. And I think it's bullshit that she's trying to act like it's the UFC's fault. It was her thing. She was the one who went back and said that she didn't want the fight out of nowhere. After multiple months of us, figuring, after the first one got canceled to reschedule, like in my world, and I feel like in most people's world, that if you make a fight, the fight should happen. You don't get to just choose that. You don't get to just be the dictator of that.
Wow. Okay. Are you still pissed off about this?
The contract. It's not that I'm pissed off. It's that if you're going to tell, like, listen, hey, I told a lie one time about my career and it really screwed things up and I learned from it. It's not fair that she gets to go and play this little innocent role that people are bullying her and that people are saying things that are untrue. I never said anything that was untrue. Paige reached out to me and texted me in July originally about the fight and said, let's do this. Let's kick off the division. And we agreed because we're fighters and we're professional. That's what we do. And then she gets injured. I even messaged her when she gets injured about saying sorry that she was hurt and doing the right thing, doing what female fighters do best and either try to communicate properly or just be complete bitches to each other. And I said I was sorry and that we would wait for the fight to be scheduled. And then that was what the plan was. And that was the plan until the contract came through. And I signed my end, sent it back. We were told the fight was made. And then that was it. Like, she can't place that on the UFC and say that they didn't communicate it properly to me or say anything. That's bullshit. That's the UFC. You're going to tell them that they have a communication issue?
And so when's the last time you talked to her? You have each other's phone numbers. You texted back in July. Since all this has come up, have you talked at all?
I didn't send any messages after I was told that she was refusing to fight me, for whatever reason, after the contract and everything. And we'd already agreed upon it, like, no, there's no reason to talk now. I'll get my chance. To set myself straight back in the 125 division, a division that I should have been in years ago, that I ruled for multiple years before I even came to the UFC. And I'll see her on the other side of the cage. And it'll be a bad day for her, in that case. But I just think I don't think it's fair that she hanged that things weren't the way that they were. I mean, I'll gladly post out what the contract said, and as I did, so others can see it. I'm not lying. The UFC does not just send random contracts with people's names on it. That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
And you are fighting January 14th, correct?
Yeah, right, which is so freaking comical that we're both going to be now on the same card.
Against Kalindra Faria?
Australia.
You're fighting Kalindra Faria, right?
Correct. I don't know why it's not released. I don't know what. I mean, I've seen things that were out there, but yeah, both contracts were signed again on that one.
Wait, what were you saying about Australia?
Fight contract sent to me. Well, she said that she, wanted to fight on Australia card and, or wanted to fight in the Japan card. I was open for all those dates, and nobody else was.
Strange. This is a strange story. This is one of the weirder ones.
It's because it's one side trying to cover up, and anytime you try to cover up a lie, it sounds really awkward when someone comes out and says the truth. And I mean, hey, what better than for me to post the contract up? Again, Ariel, and all the true fans know, and all the and even the UFC knows, they do not just send random contracts with people's name on it unless both sides have already agreed upon fighting each other. This is not something I'm just randomly making up, or neither is the UFC.
And have you moved on from her, or do you still want a chance to fight her?
I want to fight at 125, and I have literally been begging Dana since last September when I lost in my hometown. As I said, please, if I'm gonna get any more chances to be in the UFC, can I please fight it at 125? The division I should be in. And here we am. I'm getting to fight at 125. So, I mean, all bets are off now. I mean, I'll see her somewhere because we're both in this division now.
What if you see her in St. Louis?
Go up against girls like me and Valentino. I mean, listen, Valentino's a big 25er. She's like me. I'm a big 25er. We know how to make those cuts down. We weren't the biggest 35ers, but we're why this division needs to exist.
Well, what do you think happens if you see her in St. Louis? Do you think you'll be able to be cordial?
Absolutely. I'm a professional. Listen, Paige is one of those girls that like pride themselves on someone being rude and mean to them and try to make me look like I'm some bad human being. And I'm not. I'm just trying to make a living and make a means for myself. And she's really stood in the way of that. So I won't let her stand in the way of me and the girl that I'm fighting and the publicity we deserve for that fight. So she don't get my attention that way. She'll get it on another day. But believe me, she'll feel my presence. It'll make her comfortable.
Have you been watching Tough?
Absolutely. I fought Barb Hunchak years ago. And of course, it was who the number one seed was. So I wanted to see what was going to happen. And I've known of some of those girls, and I should have went into the house. I should have just, considering how the Aspen fight went, I should have chose that direction better. But I'm very proud of all the 25ers, and it's sweet. It's finally here. A lot of girls are very pumped that the 125 division is finally here. Me being one of the most. Yes.
All right. Well, I appreciate you clearing the air here, Jessica, and I appreciate you actually reaching out, sort of via. Yeah. You have my phone number too. You can text me. I'm always around. There's only love on this side of the table, contrary to what you may think.
Great. Well, thank you for hearing my tweet and giving me a chance to talk and get this out to the fans. So thank you, and I'll see you guys all in January.
Absolutely. Best of luck in training. Best of luck in the fight on January 14th. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you. Bye.
How about that? Jessica surprise drop-in, checking in. I mean, what better way on our Twitter exclusive segment to have someone tweet us saying they want to come in and clear the air? No shortage of drama. As I said to Paige, there always seems to be drama surrounding her. All right. Well, that's that. Now you got both sides of the story. You figure it out. Okay, let's answer some questions before we get the heck out of here. New York Rick, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, what do we got?
We start how we start every week, which is with your question.
Yes.
MMA Hour question of the day. If GSP is unavailable in February, who should Robert Whittaker fight next? Remember, we're live in 15 minutes. Okay, and the choices are, hold on. This always sucks because it doesn't have it on the tag board. The choices are Luke Rockhold, Chris Weidman, Kelvin Gastelum, or other specified below. And the answer, with 19 hours left, 12,000 votes, 47% saying Luke Rockhold, 35% saying Kelvin Gastelum, 13% Chris Weidman, 5% other. I'm not going to go through all the others.
Are you surprised that Gastelum's getting more votes than Chris Weidman?
No.
Because
he's fresher.
Yeah,
he's fresher in everybody's mind.
That's how it works with the rankers, by the way. Like, I bet you Gastelum ends up being, well, I don't know if I bet because I can't really figure those people out. But I bet you he like makes a big jump and Weidman doesn't, because what are you laughing about over there? Just standing up?
Yes.
I feel like an old man. When I stand up, feel free to go full screen, by the way.
Yeah.
That's sort of my cue. I feel like, I don't know. I feel like he's going to get a big push. It's funny how people have forgotten about that fight. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue against Luke Rockhold. Gastelum does bring up a great point. I mean, he's been way more active, but, he is the former champ.
For me, it's Rockhold. For me, I think that's got to be it. But that leads to the question of, why is GSP going to be unavailable in February? Because I want GSP Whittaker. I want to see that, but it doesn't seem like the push is for that. Okay. Our next question. Is Ben Askren a fool for thinking he can get a fight with GSP? Do you have a problem with Askren shooting a shot on this one?
Not at all, because he's retired, so it's all gravy. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, he's retired. So why not? This is a good time to do it, right? One is on board. It's a long shot. I highly doubt it happens.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, what effort has it taken? A couple tweets, talk about it on an interview. That's it.
Yeah, he's not putting that much energy into it, and I think can't hurt. Can only get him a fight with GSP.
Right.
Can't take him out of a fight with GSP because that never was happening. So I think it's only good. Now, do I think at a certain point it may be going on and falling on deaf ears? I think that's probably going to happen at some point. But for now, it's still fresh. And undoubtedly, I think Askren deserves to be at least considered in that kind of conversation. I think he is one of the best welterweights in the world. So unfortunately, I don't know if we'll get to see him prove that. Okay. What is your opinion on such a quick comeback like Bisping did for the Gastelum fight? Who should decide if fighters are ready to compete? We know that the doctors' commissions can make mistakes.
Well, I've already weighed in on this, so how about you weigh in?
Yeah, I don't think I have an answer in terms of whose responsibility it should be, because I believe it's everybody's responsibility. It's the fighter, it's their team, it's the commissions, it's the promotion. All these things have to come together, because if one is the only one shouting it down, chances are the other factors are going to be able to push it through. Mainly if it's the fighter. The fighter, as long as they can convince the commission, is going to be able to push it through. I don't have as much of a problem with Bisping fighting Gastelum as some people seem to, and I respect and understand the position of not wanting to see him immediately back in there after getting rocked against GSP and choked unconscious and all that. But I don't think the result would have been different 3 months from now if he had more time to prepare. I think it's very likely that Kelvin Gastelum would have been able to knock him out with that same combination of punches. I also don't think if they had stuck to a suspension that's 30 days and he fought on day 31, that he'd be in any better shape than he would be on day 22. In this case, I think it's just, the fighter was motivated. In this case, Bisping was motivated to take the fight. He was able to make it happen, and I'm not as upset about it. I do, I would be okay if I didn't see another, Bisping knockout like that. And he chose to take some more time off and walk away. But I'm not ready to point fingers on it. I'm more okay with it, I think, than most seem to be. I'm not as upset.
Yeah, I mean, I think the onus really goes on the New York Commission. Why did they do this? Right?
Yeah, I mean, they gave a number. The answer is, why did we not stay with that number? But I think there's justifications that can be explained where, hey, the reason that number's here is so that there's enough time to pass the XYZ test, this and that. They got it done before then, and the fight game goes on. So I think it's a collective effort. It's never just this person, this group, anybody's to blame. Everybody kind of has to be accountable if we want to avoid this in the future. But I don't know if we can point to an older fighter getting knocked out by a younger, faster fighter as this is the problem with these suspensions. That could have happened with 5 months.
Sure.
It's hard for me to make this the specific example or the hill to die on for it. But clearly could have been avoided with Bisping taking a little more time off. Okay. Given the brutal wobble that Bisping received, do you think he'll be cleared in time to fight in London? I think he'll be cleared.
Yeah.
Do you want to see him fight in London? And your answer earlier was no. I'm also going to say no, but I also don't think ultimately will be on the right side of that, because I think he'll push to do it. I think
book a fight in Manchester in October.
Yeah.
Or November or December.
I think if there can be an assurance made that he'll get close to where he needs to be for that hometown fight, then I think he'll be willing to wait a little bit longer. But we'll see. Only Bisping and his team and the powers that be know. But I'd be okay if he sat this one out and took the next London one.
100%.
Now, when that is eventually booked, do you like Yoel Romero as an opponent? This person proposes two people, Yoel Romero and Lyoto Machida. Do you like either of those? Do you like somebody else? Who would you like to see Bisping fight if he's doing one more?
I'm going to plead the fifth. I feel like I'm not ready to wrap my head around him right now. Romero, Masvidal, Machida.
Masvidal, the heat's picking up a little bit.
But so much could happen. He's got a long queue. I don't know. It's like, do I need even to see the retirement? I don't know. You know, I just feel like let's not even put it out there into the atmosphere.
This person asks, is it okay for me to get excited about Zabit? It is, right? Is it okay for him to get excited about
He's amazing.
Zabit? Yeah.
They all said that he was going to be a future champ, and I have no reason not to believe them at this point. Not only is it a great team that he comes out of the Mark Henry team, Ricardo Almeida, but he has been as good, if not better.
Yeah, I think it's fair to say the hype is real.
100% real. I want to see him fight, I don't want to see too fast of a push. I think first 2 fights, nice little push. So far, so good.
What does a win over Aldo do for Holloway's legacy, and what's left for Aldo if he does indeed lose? So last week we were talking about potential fighters of the year. I said that if Holloway is able to beat Aldo twice, I would probably have him as the front runner in my fighter of the year conversation. Do you think that 2 wins over Aldo is a legacy builder? Do you think that would be important for Max Holloway, or is that just another win for him? Because he already did it once, does this second one signify anything? Is it that important for him, or would it have been better to have been?
Look,
Edgar?
I'll say this: 2 things about this fight. First, Frankie Edgar's got to be sweating, because if Aldo wins, how's he going to get a third crack? Right? How's Aldo going to get a third crack?
Yep,
that's 1. 2. So Frankie, and then. I mean, like, when you just compare the other fights that are on the card, like, I don't feel the same about this fight as I do Gaethje. I don't know.
I like this fight better than I like the Frankie fight.
What? Why?
I think it's a better fight.
Really?
I think Aldo is more dangerous.
Really?
I really believe that. It wasn't that long ago. We can, flash back. Jose Aldo had Max Holloway in a little bit of trouble in that first fight. Now, Holloway fought through it and was able to really put Aldo away with an exclamation point. But Max was on shaky legs at some points in that fight. Aldo isn't, I don't think I'm ready to close the coffin on Aldo. I think that guy is still dangerous.
I almost feel like it's a disservice to Max Holloway. I almost feel like
that's another thing. Now it's Aldo getting another shot when that fight was ended. That fight wasn't, a decision that he took away. But Holloway's game, he's giving him another shot, or last time it was him getting the shot, but he's giving Aldo another chance at a fight with him, and got to just tip your cap to Max Holloway. Like, that guy is amazing. But I like this fight. I think this is going to be a good fight. Now, you're not going to talk me off Gaethje and Alvarez as the fight I want to see the most here, but I like the way Aldo and Holloway kind of match up.
I feel like I wanted to see Holloway fight someone fresh, someone new.
Sure.
I don't know. I feel like he deserved the chance to kind of cement his place, to move on from that. It was such a long, drawn out process to get that fight. I think he deserved the chance to move on. It didn't work out, obviously, because of the injury. I'm just saying, I'm very excited to see Holloway win. I think it's probably better for the UFC business-wise if Holloway wins. I think Aldo wins, and that creates a lot of problems, especially with Frankie Edgar. And the other matchups are fresh. And Ngannou versus Overeem is fresh.
You do, yeah, but if Aldo wins, you can do Holloway again. Now you do the rubber match.
Oh, God. Really?
Look, I think this is a good fight for Holloway's legacy. I think beating Jose Aldo twice will mean more when looking in hindsight. Now, that doesn't speak to what you want to see in this very moment, because you may want a fresh matchup, and I can't argue with anybody who says that. But I think if you're building that career, you're building that legacy, you're building that resume, I think this will be significant if Holloway can get it done twice against Jose Aldo.
Yeah, I don't love immediate rematches, and I know that Aldo's resume speaks for itself. I know it. I do not forget. Trust me, I do not forget how good this man was. But I was just looking forward to a fresh matchup.
Sure,
doesn't make me think I'm super excited for 218. But if we're gonna rank them, I'm not putting that one up there anymore, just because I just saw it and I feel like he moved on from it.
And not only that, but you had something else promised. It's not like there were as an option. It was Edgar Holloway. Speaking of, you're talking about Frankie sweating. If Max defends the title and Cub wins in Fresno, does that set up Cub to jump Frankie, or does Frankie get it back? Like, what do you think plays out if both Cub and Max are successful?
Cub and Max. Yeah, that's a bit of a mess too. I think Frankie might still get it. Remember, Cub has no fights left on his contract at that point, right? Or take his last fight on his deal.
That's
so
right.
That comes into play as well.
This person is saying that they're going to their first live event on Saturday. UFC 218 will be their first live event. Any tips or anything I should know beforehand? Do you have any event tips?
I got nothing.
Fans out there?
I got nothing.
Get there early. This is my tip. Yeah. Get there early. Watch all the fights.
For the actual event. I thought for fight week.
This is just for the event. I would say get there early.
Watch them all.
Watch every fight. Don't be the person who shows up for the main card only. And have a good time. Try not to get too wasted, so you can actually stay there and enjoy yourself. And hopefully you're going with some friends, because it's all about the company you keep. But UFC puts on a great show, and I think you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, especially when they go to a place for the first time in a long time, or for the first time period. New arena, it's going to be a hot crowd, no doubt about it.
Brian asked, do you believe that any of the announced fighters in the heavyweight tournament will actually make it to the end? After all the injuries, I predict the finale will be Rory McDonald versus Shane Carwin.
No.
Okay. How real, let's use this question as a diving board for, how real do you think the Rory McDonald, Shane Carwin talk is?
Well, I know that Carwin reached out. There's no deal there. And I think the Rory talk is real, but I don't think that they're going to want to put him in that tournament. I mean...
Yeah. I don't really want to see Rory versus a heavyweight.
By the way, the more heavyweights in that tournament, the better. So I'm all for Shane Carwin being in that tournament, especially with the novelty factor. We haven't seen him in quite some time. So I would suggest trying to get him. People remember him. They know him from the Brock era. I'm all for it. But there's really nothing to report right now as far as that is concerned. I reached out to Shane. He's a tough one to nail down.
What are some matchups that we never got to see this year due to either falling off or never being booked? Is Aldo...
Frankie against
Holloway. Holloway, Frankie, yours?
Frankie, yeah. Holloway, Khabib, Tony, Connor, Artem, Pauly.
Stop.
Kane, Stipe.
Yeah, I think for me it's Tony, Khabib. I love that fight. Okay. Last one.
Okay.
Danny Segura.
All right.
My client, Danny Segura.
Oh, yeah.
From 1 to 10, how much do you guys miss me? Give a number to how much you miss Danny Segura.
He still works here? Oh. I mean, this is the longest vacation I've ever seen. I mean, what kind of vacation is this?
That was better than I could have hoped. Thank you for that.
But I mean, really, talk about missed opportunities. We had 3 guys on the beat last week. I was going to offer you the New York Rick spot because I thought he was on paternity leave. Would have been perfect. This is like the reverse Lou Gehrig, right? Like when Wally Pipp, sat down and Lou Gehrig stepped in. This is like the reverse of that. Just opportunities galore. Where's Lou Gehrig? Oh yeah, he's on a 3-week vacation somewhere.
I think this analogy breaks down because Danny becomes Lou Gehrig now.
Well, he could have been Lou Gehrig. That's the beauty. That is the beauty.
I'll give it an 11. I miss you, Danny. I miss you dearly. That's it for the questions for today.
All right. Well, what's this? Okay, there is never a shortage of things to discuss, but alas, we have to say goodbye. Thank you very much, New York Rick, and again, congratulations to you and the family. Very happy for all of you, and excuse me, best to Mr. Jackman as well. All right, you can hit my music. We are done. Another fun day in the books. What a day it has been. So much going on, so much drama. We could do this show for 4 more hours and there'd be more drama, more things to discuss. But I have to say goodbye now. That's it. Of course, I have to also say thank you very much to our good friends over at Toyo Tires. Again, the next time you need tires, ask for Toyo. To experience more, visit toyotires.com/UFC. That's toyotires.com/UFC for more information on our good friends over at Toyo Tires. You see this gap right here? That's where Fedor Emelianenko used to stand, and he is no longer here. We have been robbed. A crime has been committed on the set. of the MMA Hour, and I am not happy about it. But we have to go. I'm going to Detroit on Thursday. I look forward to that. Looking forward to seeing everyone in Detroit Rock City. My Montreal Canadiens are playing the Red Wings on Thursday night. That I'll be able to go. But that excited me greatly when I saw that. I want to thank everyone who tuned in. I want to thank everyone who stopped by. Thank you very much to Emil Mech. Good luck with your visa issues. Like I said, I've been there, my man. I have been there, and it is not fun. Thank you very much to Matt Mitrione. Good luck to him. Glad he's a part of the tournament. Thank you very much to Tiffany Van Soest. Good luck to her on Friday, despite the fact that she stole a prized possession right underneath my nose. Thank you very much to Rory McDonald and his Bitcoin. Thank you very much to Paige Van Zandt and Jessica I. Thank you very much to Ben Askren, Eddie Alvarez. Best of luck to him. And thank you for that phenomenal interview. And of course, congrats to Kelvin Gastelum as well. Back next week, same time and place. Until I say peace. Sabadia.